Ni sebab dia, korang tengok video ni pas sampai habis. Aku akan share screen. Betul lah aku ini. Tengok, scroll, aku scroll 2 jam. Jangan tanya aku pakai spin mata hitam ni sebab apa. Okey, aku nak kongsi kepada korang ni. Kita semua tahu Palestin tu negara orang Islam. Dan kita juga tahu yang sekeliling tu penuh dengan orang Islam. Dengan rakyat dan negara orang Islam. Tapi yang mana rakyat bagus yang faham, tapi kerajaannya pula tak faham. Kadang-kadang buat aku terfikir jugalah, kenapa si US, UK tu, France semua duduk support sangat Israel ni. Memang semua tahu mesti ada kepentingan. So aku godek TikTok tadi, aku dah dapat rumuskan satu kesimpulan di sini. Wahai sahabat-sahabatku Palestin, aku minta maaf kerana aku tak dapat tolong support kau. Aku cuba sebarkan, betulkan, aku cuba bagi kebenaran yang aku tahu. Aku percaya apa yang aku nak cakap ni banyak lagi yang tak tahu. Aku share, aku pun nak kata video ni 100% daripada aku tak. Aku ambil daripada sahabat-sahabat pro Palestin daripada negara luar. Kredit kepada diorang, aku cuma tolong sampaikan sahaja. Aku duk ingat mati-mati pasal agama, aku duk ingat mati-mati pasal hasil tanah bumi diorang. Aku ingat mati-mati ni sebab pahaman mazhab lahanat diorang tu. Aku kira macam logik akal jugalah. Nanti korang buatlah perhitungan sendiri. Aku nak cakap benda ni sahih, memang sahih, dan aku tahu dan aku faham kenapa negara-negara Arab, negara-negara Islam, negara-negara yang bersatu ketika dulu. Nanti korang tengok sampai habis.
Today I bring this marker to show a great blessing, the blessing of a new Middle East between Israel, Saudi Arabia, and our other neighbors. We will not only bring down barriers between Israel and our neighbors, we'll build a new corridor of peace and prosperity that connects Asia through the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Israel, to Europe. This is an extraordinary change, a monumental change, another pivot of history.
Apalah yang dia berkempen tu. Okey, nak senang. Dulu untuk pengangkutan laut daripada Asia ke Amerika menggunakan layar jalan ni. Jauh kan? Sekarang kalau contoh yang korang tengok dalam merah tu bermaksud itulah laluan yang sekarang yang menjimatkan. Kalau contoh dia masih lagi nak guna jalan yang biru tadi tu, dia akan tambah 9 hari. So kebanyakan kapal ni dia tak nak ambil lah. So bayar saja tol tu. Nak tahu tol dia berapa? Tak silap aku, dia punya tol boleh cecah 1 juta, paling kurang 300,000 USD.
Gold mine. It connects the Mediterranean Sea to the Indian Ocean via the Red Sea. It is the link between Asia and Europe. Every day, almost 3 million barrels of oil, 8% of global LNG, 50 ships, $9 billion worth of cargo, 12% of global trade all pass along this right here single canal. Remember in 2021 how a container ship ran aground in the Suez? Global trade was brought to its knees. The alternative route via the Cape of Good Hope adds around 9 days and 7,000 kilometers to the journey. There is no replacement for the Suez Canal, except perhaps for the Ben Gurion Canal. Now, what the US had been thinking about back in the 60s was dropping 520 nukes on parts of Israel, all to build a 260-kilometer-long canal that would start at the Red Sea down there in the port city of Eilat, run through the Negev Desert, and pour out into the Mediterranean.
Aku tak rasa pun kalau dia nak ikut apa yang jalan kuning tu. Aku rasa nak mudah, nak senang, nak cepat. Aku rasa dia mesti nak buat straight punya lah. Kan? Lagi jimat. Habis tu kalau straight tu kena siapa? Dan korang fikir baliklah kenapa belah Gaza Utara yang dia nak.
Northern Gaza, the same northern Gaza that is currently being bombarded and depopulated. Egypt and its money-making Suez Canal would just be sidelined. The same Egypt that, rumour has it, is now considering taking in refugees in exchange for debt relief by the US. And if you think it's crude of me to talk business during times of an existential war, think again.
March 23rd, 2021, the container ship Ever Given was on its journey between the port of Tanjung Pelepas in Malaysia and Rotterdam in the Netherlands when it was sailing through the Suez Canal in Egypt. According to the shipping company, the vessel was hit by a strong sandstorm with wind speeds up to 74 kilometers an hour, causing it to no longer be steerable. At 7:40 a.m. local time, the ship rammed into the side wall of the canal. About half an hour later, the first Egyptian tugboats and firefighting ships arrived, but freeing the ship will prove to be a difficult undertaking. The first images began to circulate on the internet and show that the ship has dug itself into the side wall, and satellite images reveal how the ship is completely blocking passage through the canal. The profile of the Suez Canal is angled on the sides, which means it only has its full depth in the middle. However, there's only a single lane where the Ever Given is stuck.
One little strip of water can be, both for the economy, but also for countries who want power. Let's get back to the Suez Canal. Take a look at this canal for like 5 seconds and you realize that it's not natural, way too straight of lines. But back before it was built, if you wanted to get from Europe to Asia, you had to sort of do this. Back then, the British controlled this little port in South Africa, which gave them a very nice strategic advantage because everyone who was doing world trade or domination had to pass through them. The British were loving this monopoly over the trade route.
The Ben Gurion Canal project, alternatively known as the Israeli Canal or Palestinian Canal, is an ambitious proposal to construct a waterway through Israel. The canal would connect the Red Sea to the Mediterranean Sea, serving as a competitor to Egypt's Suez Canal, which currently sees the passage of 12% of the world's trade and 10% of global oil distribution. The project is estimated to cost between $16 billion to $55 billion and would span approximately 182 miles or 293 kilometers, making it nearly 1/3 longer than the existing Suez Canal. The idea of constructing an alternative to the Suez Canal has been discussed for decades. The proposed route for the Ben Gurion Canal would start at the Gulf of Aqaba, near the port city of Eilat on the Israeli-Jordanian border. It would then traverse the Arabah Valley for about 100 kilometers between the Negev Mountains and the Jordanian highlands. The canal would turn westward before reaching the Dead Sea Basin and continue through a valley in the Negev mountain range. Finally, it would curve northward the Gaza Strip and link up with the Mediterranean Sea. Clearly, the canal would offer similar advantages to the Suez Canal.
Dah nampak sikit kan kenapa Arab Saudi ataupun tak ada negara-negara lain tolong? Sebab duit je. Nah, nanti aku tambah lagi satu poin. Poin ni adalah poin yang membuat korang marah. Korang tengok kenapa Arab Saudi adalah negara yang terawal yang nak setuju untuk menormalisasikan benda yang tak normal dekat sana. Korang tengok video ni. Sebab dia ada projek gila babengnya.
The Saudi Kingdom is building the world's biggest city, Neom, which will cost Saudi Arabia upwards of $1 trillion. Neom relies on 3 major mega projects: the Octagon, the Line, and Trojena. The Octagon is Neom's heartbeat and industrial center, which will float on water like an oasis. Apart from housing machineries and bringing products to life, it'd serve as a port, a passageway for vessels sailing across the Red Sea. Trojena is an extensive outdoor skiing destination, the first of its kind on the Arabian Peninsula, mixing hospitality, recreation, and sports. Trojena will function as an entertainment hub all year round. Then there's the Line. This skyscraper is actually 2 parallel buildings, each 500 meters high, stretching 170 kilometers across desert terrains.
Masih lagi ingat konspirasi teori. Korang buat kira-kira balik. Kau tengok balik perkara yang berlaku. Ada logik tak? Logik je. Aku tak cakap aku betul dan aku tak cakap aku salah. Tapi aku jarang salah. Tapi persoalan satu timbul. Diorang ni memang betul-betul nak buang, nak hapuskan Palestin lah. Sebelum kita tamatkan video, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma inna naj'aluka fi nuhuri adaina wa na'udzubika min sururihim. Allahumma baddid syamlahum wa farriq jam'ahum wa shatti kalimatahum wa zalzil aqdamahum. Allahumma baddid syamlahum wa farriq jam'ahum wa shatti kalimatahum wa zalzil aqdamahum وسلط عليه القلب من قلابك يا قهار يا جبار يا منتقم يا الله يا الله يا الله اللهم يا منزل الكتاب يا مجري السحاب يا هزم الأحزاب عزهم 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 وانصرنا عليهم اللهم إنا نسألك في نوره أعدائنا ونعوذ بك من سرورهم اللهم بدد شملهم وفرق جمعهم وشتت كلماتهم وزلزل أقدامهم وسلط عليه القلب من قلابك يا قهار يا جبار يا منتقم يا الله يا الله يا الله اللهم يا منزل الكتاب يا مجري السحاب يا هزم الأحزاب عزهم 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 وانصرنا عليهم. Melayu tak apa. Amin.